Okay, it is again 6:50 a.m. Just connecting all the dots as the world is observing what is the exposure of the supernatural, which is demonic. It's twisted, it's wickedness exposed, and that condition of those that are engaging in a system that is practiced by a quote unquote secret society, it's not a secret anymore. And you actually have the ability to know what is invisible to the human eye. But you know by their behavior and you know by where they're at and what they're doing, actually. And as you see inside of my apartment, the multiple layers of engineered light, that is the magnification, creating an enlarged, upright shadow on my walls as I'm standing in front of it. Whew, very demonic, impossible light activity, not created by sunlight. This is the light that's all over the grounds, okay? And as I told you yesterday, the entity that knows that it's being exposed will engage in the chicanery in the environment. None of this is natural. The chicanery in the environment is you're looking at what's supposedly a cloudy day while third-party group stalker Tiffany Sherez of apartment 1818 number 6 is walking across the parking lot. What you're looking at, first of all, is directed light is always present, as I just demonstrated again inside of my apartment. Different hues, different concentrations. They are walking in engineered light, day and night, as I also showed you during the day, where this pattern of blinds is appearing in an upright position along the wall, going up onto the ceiling. It is entirely twisted. Okay, as I showed you yesterday, through the pattern of the blinds, outside the pattern of the blinds are reaching into the depths of the apartment, like so. The blinds are closed, ladies and gentlemen. The blinds are closed. Let me raise up my hand. This is entirely impossible. It's fully demonic, okay? This is engineered light, multiple shadows. This is the concentrated light that's being shot like a laser. This is another shadow here. This is the engineered light. You see my enlarged shadow? We've got layers of directed light here. Okay, that's what's going on. Understand, you're going to break through the illusions of the environment. This directed light, this engineered light is what covers the property all day long, where you are looking at different hues. So that group stalker, all of them, the United States Postal Service, that group stalker. All right, Jose Cruz, that group stalker, using a company, they're going to pay dearly. When you drain their pockets, they will likely not survive civil and criminal prosecution. All right, and as a matter of justice, oh well, okay, they're terrorizing American citizens. It deserves to be fully disclose what they're doing, they being the people of the state utilizing their businesses to engage in criminal facilitation in every way that the entity is engaging in facilitation. You will pay for it civilly and you will be prosecuted for it criminally, and you will also be publicly exposed for it. That is, every business will go on that same database for identification as a group stalker, terrorizing, group stalking, targeting American citizens. The entity is engaging in this pattern of conduct at Alvarado Gardens. This is not sunlight that's all over the building. This is engineered light because position group stalking as the people of the state that live at the specific venue. They live at a crime scene. You will treat it like every other crime scene, except this is an unprecedented crime. And in the same way, the federal government will treat it just like that. They like to live with their children at a crime scene where an unprecedented act of ongoing ceaseless terrorism of an American citizen by all of them together at one time, while they maintain joint knowledge of the fact that it is being documented and it is exposed, and their behavior, which you have witnessed while they are, again, witnessing the documentation of their criminal act, they engage in continuing that targeting, continuing that terrorism, continuing that harassment, continuing that malicious act, which is in no way suggesting their innocence or ignorance. Okay, it's showing what is a heightened level of malice, a threat to the lives of American citizens. You're not in any way, in any persuasive form whatsoever, appearing to be innocent in the directed light or under the light source. Not at all. This is how the system, that secret society, operates, and you are witnessing how they would like to defame the target individual. They are actually the demon possessed, which are psychopaths, obsessive ones. All right, and they are bent on appearing on the outward surface as though it's anything else but exactly what I'm telling you. And you know the truth because you're witnessing it. You're witnessing the truth. That's why they're all in this environment. That's why this phenomenon exists. This is the same environment where in the afternoon, 8 hours later, this same light source that's outside of the living room window is right here hovering over, creating light in the patterns, magnifying it through these little holes onto this wall. And you saw that yesterday into the evening. into the evening as though the sun is setting. Right over, actually on this, out of this window, it was in the shade. I pointed that out. When I went to the next window, as you've witnessed, the demon-possessed entity is engaged in real time. I expose them. This is group stalking, crossing path. Everything that they're doing is criminal facilitation. Every third-party group stalker that lives here is going to be prosecuted. And they're going to be removed from those households. The threat that they pose both to the children and to the American people, as they've demonstrated the malice with which they intend to target one and get away with it. They're not getting away with anything. It's serving to create very harsh and unnecessarily intense federal policy. All right. The entity is engaging in this act, this implausible and unpersuasive, highly demonic behavior in an environment that is in every way showing what they are doing. And what does the Los Angeles Police Department do? Provide video of them flying 15 to 20 times in the specific environment all day long, which is evidence against the people of the state. This is how you are going to implode the system. All right. The entity that's monitoring and targeting an American citizen together will, by their criminal acts, which is serving to group stalk and monitor, convict and serve to prosecute each other. Okay, they're doing it in the specific environment. They are hand in hand. It is 6:56 a.m. in the grounds, as I've already shown. I've been out possible light that's bouncing off of windows onto the sidewalk, onto the asphalt, while they're just just walking around, just group stalking in your face. Yeah, these are psychopaths that are engaging in that pattern. Did it to one that I'm referencing myself, who knows exactly what they're doing, the malice with which they do it. And I'm also advocating about the policy to prosecute those who want to practice this. All right. It's currently 6:56 a.m. The entity maintains a light source for the duration of the day. So I'm just going to have to, let me spell this out for you again one more time, while they are so generously, they being the entity, this is the demon possessed, so generously providing. It is not even 7 o'clock yet. It's 6:56 a.m. This is the light source. I want to be clear. This whole area, the light source. It's not just Alvarado Gardens. The entity is maintaining engineered light over everything. And when I leave from the property, this light source remains over my head, a matter of published evidence, already published documentation. This is how I get the light source over Shiro's Liquor on Hope Boulevard in Ontario. If that's the sun that was rising over Shiro's Liquor on Hope Boulevard in Ontario, let me be specific, on Plum and Hope Boulevard in Ontario, California, at around the same time, then this is not the sun that will be rising over the mountain that I'm looking at in alignment to 1806 number 6 in Los Angeles, California. The two are not occurring at the same time. All right, it's over a liquor store, over the roof, over my head, directly over my head. And you know that also by the light activity that surrounded me at that liquor store. There's no mistake about it, where it was and where it was aiming light. All right, the entity is engaging in a pattern, a very specific pattern of maintaining engineered light and maintaining a light source, because the light source is supposed to be the guise under which you're seeing light everywhere. But it's not the guise under which you're seeing this light source for the duration of the day. Number one, you're seeing the engineered light, the magnified light, the multiple shadows, the light that's appearing on the inside and outside of objects, that's appearing out of nowhere, just in the shade. Yeah, it's not in any way a plausible form for that. Number two, and it's also occurring in the presence of those who are around you, who are conforming to a specific behavior. Any and everything that you do, while they are being generous providing this well before 7 o'clock, it's 6:58 a.m. This is called stalking with light. It's in the path. Understand what group stalking is. They keep the light source in alignment with me everywhere that I go, from rise until set. All right? They are doing the same thing while the people of the state and the entity remain in the path. It's group stalking. Okay? They are doing the same thing with regard to amplified audible activity. It's targeted to wherever you're at. And these are all demonic methods of targeting. It is the psychotic method, the psychotic demonstration of the passive-aggressive stalker. All right, keeping their back to you while they are in your path, while the light source is over you, while you're surrounded by directed light, and the psychopath that keeps their back to you is under the false premise that they can't be identified by as a stalker. And that's the whole false premise upon which group stalking stands. All right, they are surrounded by the evidence, and you're looking at a psychopath while they turn their back to you, knowing they're being documented, as though anybody is persuaded or ignorant or fooled about what is going on. No one is fooled. No one is fooled by that. You're going to snatch that psychopath off the street. You're going to prosecute them like any other violent, mentally disturbed stalker that will not that will not stop in the face of the evidence of what they are doing. That's how you're going to treat the group stalker, because that's the threat that they pose. That's exactly what their behavior is exhibiting. It is what justice requires. And those group stalkers are going by the name of waste management. Those group stalkers are going by the name of the Los Angeles Police Department. Those group stalkers are going by the name of the third-party group stalkers that live at Alvarado Gardens. Those group stalkers are going by the name of our TED speaker. Those group stalkers are going by the name of all of the employees, the co-workers of speaker companies. Those group stalkers are going by the name of any and every third-party group stalker that the targeted individual knows by name, who they work with, wherever they're going, wherever the specific environment is maintained. At work, the entity is maintaining the light source over you at your job. When you are going to the grocery store, the entity is maintaining the light source directly over your head while you're at that venue. Again, like I said, if the sun is over me and on Hope Boulevard in Stater Brothers, Ontario, then this is not the sun. It's not occurring at the same time. And this is how you're dicing down insanity. And that's why I use that word. It's not only asinine, but it is deeply, deeply, deeply demented. It is the demonic. All right. And so the world is at a place now where you can no longer deny and engaging in what I'm engaging in is basically the intellectual ability to prove, not that I need to prove it, because I'm proving a criminal system, but I'm not going to mince words. This is in every way satanic. And it's also the evidence of one's demon possession, engaging in the pattern of conduct. And demonic targeting behavior is practiced by the people of the state who are going by company names that you support every day, like Amazon Prime. Okay, the entity is engaging in the behavioral patterns and engaging in what is present and doing so, the demon possessed thinking that they can bear a company name and that nobody's gonna know what they're doing. You know it by where they're at, you know it by what they are doing and the environment that they're doing it in. And this, again, all of this is not a mystery. This is well documented. What I continue to capture in Los Angeles, it is irreconcilable with evidence, a body of evidence that already exists. There's no question and there is no reasonable question about what this entity is doing as I am now in Los Angeles exposing the pattern of conduct. Not at all. All right, Waste Management appreciates my calling them out. So they are engaging in what is the demonic method of patrolling, repeatedly very demonic. Going back and forth like this in the engineered light, this is what demons do. It's called pacing. That's what Waste Management is doing. They're just doing it in a dumpster truck. And you are able to understand that demonic behavior because of the environment that they're in, okay? That's criminal facilitation. It's 7:02 a.m. And my point was at 7:02 a.m., 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 1, 2, 3 p.m. The entity is engaging in what is present on the opposite side of the apartment, and the sun is supposed to be here. Okay, 1800-4 is crossing path, group stalking, using the vehicle as a method of light. They're also creating light activity while they are moving on the grounds, which is covered with engineered light. The entity is aiming magnified light in the afternoon, 8 hours later, as though the sun would be present, even visible anywhere over this property. It would not. The sun is a gaseous ball of fire in constant movement. Okay, and while the entity is engaging in maintaining a light source over Alvarado Gardens for the duration of the day and aiming light, magnified light onto my wall, falsely trying and foolishly, like idiotically, aiming this light as though anyone's going to be fooled, because you're not going to be fooled. Perhaps you were ignorant before, but now you're paying attention and it's vividly clear. Yeah, that's not possibly sunlight, and that could not possibly be the sun. So what is it? And I've told you what it is. And I'm also telling you what you do, federal government, as a response, okay, as a matter of justice. The entity is maintaining this light source as though no other state in the country, let alone the world, but I'm just talking about the constitutional laws that we are bound by here, because this unnatural environment is serving a criminal system that the Los Angeles Police Department is engaged in. So their demon possession is used against them. Their demon possession is inspiring their stalking conduct in violation of their oath, in violation of the Constitution, in violation of literally the ordinary reasonabilities of a person, of a human being, okay? It's demented. It's not just criminal, it's sick. This is called crossing path on Alvarado. The people of the state are group stalking all around the property. This is demonic pacing. They are surrounding the property. That's what you're actually witnessing, okay? And that's how you know it, because of the engineered light, because of the environment, all right? And this is in every way impossible. Okay, this is impossible light. While the blinds are open, the entity is engaging in what is light as though that would ever be the case, and it wouldn't. Sunlight is not shooting like a laser. And you also know that sunlight does not create multiple layers of sunlight. The entity is doing the same thing while the blinds are closed. Okay? The blinds are closed in an upward position. And that light source that you see outside of my window in the living room at 7 a.m., the entity is engaging in concentrating light through the peephole. While that's supposedly the sun, that's not the sun. While you have, again, you're understanding everything that I've already documented, everything that I've already exposed. That's how you know what they're all doing around in relevant position. This is group stalking. That's group stalking, and it's demonic. And it is revealing a people and what their condition is. And everything that they use to engage in that system, they're going to lose it. You want to use your children, you'll lose them. All right. You want to include children in that unprecedented criminal act in the first place? You deserve to lose them. You're putting them at risk. That is in danger, and you're corrupting them. They can grow up to be whatever they want. They may very well grow up to be at the same condition of their mentally sick parents. But what the federal government will not tolerate is engaging those under the age of majority in federal group stalking and monitoring. Okay, that's not going to be tolerated. And so while you're living at a crime scene, honey, your criminal act is being tabulated. It's being noted. And all of that is going to be used against you. And everything that you want to use to engage in targeting with the government, you're going to lose it. You want to use it? Then you're going to lose it. It is currently, by the way, 7:05, though. She's crossing path, and she's doing so while the Los Angeles Police Department is amplifying helicopter activity. She is walking in engineered light. She's going to be deported. This is P.O.C. They're in a demonic environment. That's P.O.C. That's called the simultaneity with which they engage in the pattern of conduct. And this is an enemy exposed. Positioning by the corrupt law enforcement agency, the LAPD. They have light activity on that helicopter while they are crossing path. They are also engaging in what is crossing path while another demon on the grounds is crossing path in the engineered light. This is their ongoing behavioral pattern. This is why the entity maintains engineered light. This is why the entity is filling the apartment with engineered light. This is the direct evidence against the LAPD and Miss Carreto, all right, one who was unworthy to be in this country. All right, engaging in this un-American crime with the corrupt law enforcement, both of whom are demonstrating their demon possession. All right, and both of whom that demon possession is relevant in that federal prosecution because their demon possession is what is inspiring their demented behavioral pattern, which was intended to be a secret. It's not a secret anymore. It's not a secret at all. And it's posing an impermissible threat to the life of another. And while you are posing that impermissible threat, you will go to federal prison. And that's going for both the Los Angeles Police Department, who will serve time in federal prison, in addition to being permanently removed from law enforcement at any agency in the United States ever. They're never going back to law enforcement. It is currently 7:07 a.m. Pay attention 8 hours later. Actually, you don't need to because I've already documented it. At 5 p.m., after 5 p.m. yesterday, the entity was suggesting that the sun is hovering over the apartment building and aiming light into my second bedroom over here. And in the shade, aiming light into this bedroom here. That's over 8 hours later. So let's count the hours. 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, so that's 10 hours from now. The entity is suggesting that the sun is visible and hovering over the apartment building, aiming concentrated sunlight, magnified through the closed blinds onto the walls. While Jose Cruz was here creating amplified audible activity on the roof, those are the elements of monitoring. Those are the businesses that come to the specific environment engaging in activity creation. That's all they're doing. Under the guise of conducting business. This is P.O.C. The Carretos are going to be deported. All right. But you're going to systematically apply federal policy apartment by apartment. Those that aren't American citizens, they're being shipped out of this country. Those that have children, you're going to separate those children from those households. Those that are engaging in group stalking, as I've documented them in concert with the corrupt law enforcement agency, they're going to federal prison. All of them on Section 8 are permanently losing those federal housing benefits. The property owner himself, Ted Speaker, he is no longer in Alvarado Gardens, is no longer having been prosecuted and exposed as one engaging in the criminal facilitation of a public entity's targeting federal group stalking and monitoring. In other words, that's what it's going to be called, referenced. You're talking about removing the ability to participate in a federal housing program. You don't have the privilege of participating like any other criminal that you would run a background check and they're disqualified on that basis. You're talking about the criminal record that will follow every documented group stalker. This is the easy means of documenting this community while the entity is group stalking me while I live here. And as I am here as an employee, the resident manager at this property. That's just some of the policies to go forth. It's 7:09 a.m. and this is P.O.C.